Hey everyone, get ready for a deep dive into one of the darkest places in recent history, Abu Ghraib prison. Let's start with a bit of history. Abu Ghraib, built in the 1950s near Baghdad, Iraq, originally served as a normal prison. However, under Saddam Hussein's regime, it became notorious for torture, executions, and severe human rights abuses. Fast forward to the early 2000s, Iraq was in chaos after the US invasion, and Abu Ghraib's role shifted again. It turned into a place where thousands of people were locked up. Some were insurgents, but many were just innocent civilians. Brigadier General Janice Karpinski was the only female general officer commanding troops in Iraq at the time and was in charge of Abu Ghraib. However, the real troublemakers were some rogue soldiers under her command. Charles Grainer, a former Pennsylvania prison guard, and Lindy England, a young Army reservist who infamously posed in many of the abuse photos, were among the worst offenders. These individuals, who were supposed to be the good guys, ended up being the bad guys, turning the prison into a nightmare. Now let's talk about the torture. This is where things get really bad. Imagine being forced to stand naked in a human pyramid while guards laughed and took photos. But that's not all. They used electric wires on sensitive parts of the prisoners' bodies and threatened to electrocute them if they moved. Can you believe it? And then there were the dogs. They used big, scary dogs to terrify the prisoners, letting them get so close that the prisoners could feel their hot breath. But hey, at least the dogs weren't making dinner reservations. The psychological torture was just as awful. Prisoners had to stand in painful positions for hours, hooded and naked, with guards taunting them non-stop. MPs would even spit and urinate on detainees. Talk about a warm welcome. And just when you thought it couldn't get any more humiliating, detainees were often forced to wear women's underwear on their heads, as if being in a war zone wasn't enough. Now they had to deal with a makeshift Victoria's Secret fashion show. There were beatings, waterboarding, and sleep deprivation that turned days into endless nightmares. One detainee was beaten with a broom, had a chemical light broken and poured over his body, and then was sodomized with the broom while two female MPs threw a ball at his penis and took photographs. It's like a twisted summer camp gone horribly wrong. The guards even played mind games, making prisoners think they'd never see their families again. It was a living hell, where every day was a bad day and the worst reality show ever imagined. And then there's the sexual abuse. One detainee described how during an interrogation, a female soldier forced him into a sexual act while he was hooded and restrained. She told him, "If you do not confess, I have my own way to make you confess." This wasn't just torture, it was a complete degradation of human dignity. So what happened to Abu Ghraib and the people responsible for these horrible acts? After the scandal broke in 2004, the whole world was shocked. Photos of the abuse leaked out, causing massive outrage. Abu Ghraib was shut down as a prison for detainees in 2006. But what about the guards? Some were punished and sent to prison, like Charles Grainer and Lindy England. Grainer got 10 years and England got 3. In addition to the military police guards, 2 military police dog handlers were also charged with abuses for the inappropriate use of their military working dogs in December 2003. The charged abuses included using dogs to intimidate and frighten the detainees for their own and the guards' entertainment. One horrific incident involved using dogs to back a naked detainee up against a wall, where the detainee was eventually bitten in the leg. And if you thought it couldn't get worse, they even used the dogs to commit an indecent act, making the dogs lick peanut butter off the genitals of a male and the breasts of a female U.S. soldier. Absolutely shocking and beyond words. But many people think the higher-ups, the ones who allowed this to happen, got off too easy. Brigadier General Karpinski was demoted, but she wasn't the main villain. The real masterminds, the top officials, mostly avoided serious punishment, blaming it all on a few bad apples. Today, Abu Ghraib is a ghost of its former self, a reminder of what happens when power goes unchecked. The horrors of Abu Ghraib are a dark stain on human history. The physical and psychological torture inflicted upon innocent people is a stark reminder of the depths of cruelty humans are capable of. While some individuals were held accountable, the systemic failures that allowed such atrocities to occur remain a profound issue. The scars left on the victims and their families will likely never fully heal. Abu Ghraib serves as a chilling testament to the importance of human rights, accountability, and the absolute necessity of ethical conduct, especially in positions of power. It is a chapter in history we must never forget. so that it is never repeated.